Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Sermondo Talks. My name is Christina and I'm here to introduce you to some of the smartest Amazon experts from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, but you'd like to get some industry insights, hear some interesting stories about entrepreneurship, and learn some useful hacks that you can apply to your own Amazon business, make sure you subscribe to our channel now and hit that notification bell so you will never miss another episode again. My guest for you today is Yoni Mazor, COO of GETIDA, an Amazon reimbursement company. He will explain why Amazon sellers may lose thousands of dollars each year, how GETIDA helps you to get that money back, and we will also talk a little bit about his own journey. Without further ado, let's say hi to Yoni and ask him some questions. Hey, hi Yoni, so glad to have you here.
Hi, Christina. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to host you. Let's jump right in one sentence. What is GETIDA?
Oh, essentially, we're a technology company. We have a bunch of services, but the most popular one is auditing Amazon sellers for FBA discrepancies and helping them get reimbursements. That's pretty much it.
And what about your other services?
We also do it for if you sell on Amazon on Vendor Central, or if you sell on Walmart or other brick and mortar stores, they have issues with chargebacks. So we also deal with that. We also do a lot of consulting and also a lot of educational, programs
That's awesome. For how long have you been around already?
since 2015.
And can you give me like a ballpark number of how many clients you have already worked with?
Oh, along the years, a few thousand, but currently we're auditing more than $2 billion worth of annual transactions with FBA, with Fulfillment by Amazon. That's how we kind of try to look at the amount of work that we have to do.
That's insane. How many employees do you have to manage all that?
Not too many. We're about 20 employees.
Only 20?
Yeah, technology. It's a lot based on technology. The mass data is pretty much technology and algorithms, but the actual service, it's a service team. That's most where the muscle is. So we need employees for that.
And how does the process of working with you look like? Let's say I'm an Amazon seller or vendor and I come to your company. I say, hey, please help me out. How would we work together?
Got it. So let's try to focus on, I guess, the easier part, which is FBA auditing. So if you sell on Amazon and FBA, essentially you go to GETIDA, it's free to join. There's no subscription fees and no monthly fees. There's no contract, anything. Anybody can join at any time. It's free to join. You get access to our platform, to our dashboard. We actually won an award with the American Business Awards, gold medal award for our dashboard and dashboard technology. Once you're inside the dashboard, you're going to get data analytics and some information about your Amazon account regarding reimbursements. And also, there's a module for calculating weight and dimensions. So you can track your weight and dimensions on Amazon. So all these features are free. But nevertheless, if you like our help to help you get reimbursements from Amazon, you can upgrade or enable open up the account for us to come in and help you reconcile the things with Amazon and get reimbursed. Also in the dashboard, before you even join the service, you'll get an estimate. It'll show you, we can get your account an estimate of, I don't know, $5,000, $50,000, really every seller depending on the volume. So it's free to join and it's free to really see what the estimate is and get some free data about your account and some free analytics. And if you like the numbers that you see and you feel like you could use our help, you would join. And then the way we get paid is actually only if we get you reimbursed, meaning
Mhm.
let's say Amazon gave you $100 reimbursement for an issue. We're going to take a percentage from the reimbursement. We take usually 25% from the reimbursement. So it's a win-win proposition. We sellers can feel comfortable at any size to join and try it out. We do encourage the sellers to try everything they can do to on their own to get the reimbursements that they know of. We can touch more about that soon. But once they're done, they feel like they did everything they can do. Then we can come in and simply get out everything that was, has been left behind. The world of Amazon or the sellers on Amazon are kind of 50-50. 50% of the sellers are not even aware that there's an issue, there's
Mhm.
discrepancies, and they're owed money. And the other half, they're aware that there's an issue and they're owed money, Nevertheless, they're not familiar with all the types of issues that can happen, so might just check a few of them. But even if they check all of them, it's hard to get really down to the resolution of the issues and dive and dig deep. It's almost like drilling for oil. If you wanna if you want to find oil on the ground, you might have a drill. It's you're in Europe, so I'm gonna use meters. Let's say it's I don't know 10 meters long. So you drill 10 meters, you stuck up a little bit of oil, and that's okay. But then we come with our machinery, and our drill goes down a whole kilometer. So during the way, we find more and more and more, and our infrastructure, and our system, and our technology, and our data, and our intimacy with the data is so deep that we're able to find and identify more issues clearly, more issues that sellers are eligible to get reimbursed. We present it to Amazon, and then the process starts. Amazon is a great company; they're very fair, but nevertheless, sellers need to know that they're compliant when they're opening cases, and they're accurate. You don't just want to waste Amazon's time and open a lot of cases, and especially if you don't know what you're doing and most of the cases get rejected, uh,
Yeah.
you're wasting the resources, which is a valuable time that they can give to another seller that actually knows what they're doing. So we actually try to eliminate that. We come in, more than 70 or 75% of our claims get reimbursed for the seller. So for every 4 cases that we submit, more than 3 cases will get reimbursed. Once again, because it comes from the experience and the knowledge and the intimacy that we have with the data, because we actually monitor and track our own success rate. So we try to keep the job very clean, very focused. And of course, if Amazon replies to the case and asks for more information, we actually handle that process. A lot of the sellers don't have the capacity to go back and forth. They're simply too busy growing their company,
Yeah.
creating new products, logistics, financing. There's so many things for an Amazon seller to do, and they don't have that little, that span or that capacity to go the extra mile. But we do. That's all we do. So for us, that's how we bring out the value for the sellers, and we find it to be very successful.
And what about communication? So let's say I dig 10 meters and then I can't go any further. So I reach out and I consult you guys. Do I get my own account manager, or are there like 10 different people I have to turn to when I have any questions? How does that look like?
So yeah, in general, there's one account manager, but underneath the manager, there's all these types of specialists. I guess it's a good time to say that a big part of our team are ex-Amazon employees who actually used to work in those departments. So that helps us a lot with a few things. First of all, to making sure that we're always compliant. By the way, we're also on Amazon on the App Store. If you go to Amazon to the App Store and put GETIDA, you'll find us there as an approved service provider. So compliance is very, very important to us, but also, because they used to work in those departments, we know what we're looking for, how to present the issues, how to reply to the cases, and of course, if there's a back and forth element, how to present. If a case gets rejected, we're able to convert it to an approved case, because we understand that Amazon might not really understand what's going on, so we'll reply to the case with a different angle or a different explanation to make it easier for them to understand. So instead of rejecting it, they usually say, "Oh, we apologize, and here's your reimbursement." So that for us, it's a big key, and it happens because of the expertise of the team. But it's a chain reaction. Usually there's an account manager, but underneath there's specialists. It's more like medicine. You have a general doctor, he's your doctor, but if you need a referral for a cardiologist for your heart, you'll get it. If you need physical therapy for your back, you'll get it. So we have those elements also.
I like that you're speaking so much in metaphors. Now I can really picture it.
Yeah, it helps to
Um,
understand the hierarchy.
you actually answered my next question, which would have been if you have any experience yourself selling on Amazon, which you obviously do. You personally as well, or only some members of the team, or all members?
So it's funny. Actually it's a merge between ex Amazon employees, but also for myself, my background, my history is, yes, I used to sell on Amazon. I started almost 10 years ago. I started actually selling my college books. I went to school. I had to get rid of my books. I had two options: either do a trade in or actually sell it on Amazon. And I found out that selling on Amazon, you get more money. So that's how I kind of started selling on the platform. But even before that, I used to sell a lot of stuff on eBay. I found it as a very useful way to generate sales and money. And then I partnered with my partner, Max. We're partners also with GETIDA. He's actually the CEO. We teamed up, and Amazon was kind of up and coming. We said, let's continue with this Amazon. It seems like it's a growing platform. So very quickly, we turned into a $20 million a year business. Then we partnered with another group, which altogether we did, over 100 million a year on Amazon sales. So GETIDA was actually born from this need to audit all the time. A fast-growing company. All these transactions are coming in really, really quickly all the time. So we had to develop, I guess, two things. The first thing was technology that can allow us to accurate technology that can allow us to really manage the scale of the data. But the second thing was actually a team, a dedicated team to handle it, to sit down on it and handle it, make sure it's all the way. It just gets done all the way to the finish line. For us, that was key. So these two components were able to establish it very, very well. And what happened was we kind of told our friends from the industry about what we have, and they said, you know what, help us out, help us out. We'll pay you. And that was like a bing, there was a little moment where we realized, all right, that's interesting. We can actually have some customers with this. So the first few years was organic growth. We had, friends from the industry, and it was growing nicely organically for a few good years. And then we had to make a decision. Either we stay in retail, we keep selling, or we do this technology and services and see how far we can go. So Max and I, we decided, you know what, let's see this technology and services. Let's push it. Let's see how far we can go. So in terms of retail, we just cashed out our positions and we're focusing on GETIDA. And since then, it's been like a volcano in a good way. So that's a
Now
little bit
you're
of the
here.
story. Yeah, now I'm here with Sermondo taking over the world.
Yeah. So you're obviously, or I hope you're aware that there are a few competitors in the field. In general, what would you say makes a good reimbursement company, and why should I choose GETIDA over your competitors?
So I'll start by saying off, we do have a few competitors. I have a lot of appreciation to them. So I think they're also doing a good job. And in a way, we're partners. What we're partners in with the competitor is the awareness. Because I mentioned before, half of the market is not even aware. So anytime I go or any of my competitors go out and talk about it, that's great for the industry as a whole. So,
Yeah.
it raises the awareness. And so they do a good job. I guess key differences will be the fact that we have ex-Amazonians in our team. We're in the App Store. So if you're looking for a reimbursement company, make sure you go to the Amazon App Store and find it there. There's only a few of them. Anybody that's not there, they might not be compliant because once you're in the App Store, you have two commitments. First of all, to the seller, right, to the
Mhm.
customer, but also to Amazon to make sure that you're playing by the rules, you're compliant, everything's kosher, what we say in New York area. It's everything's very kosher, so that's important. So being in the App Store, having ex-Amazonians, we won an award, gold medal award for our technology, and from the American Business Awards. So in that organization, the judges from there of the award show, they're people from PayPal, Bank of America. So it's major corporations that we got acknowledgement for. But beyond all that stuff, it's really our commitment. We're committed to maximizing the recovery. That's our passion. Whatever is extra for you to get, what you're eligible. We're not playing games. Everything that you're eligible, we can really identify that and come and help you maximize it. So that's something that we're proud of. The fact that we actually review cases. A lot of the companies, if you ever join a reimbursement company, you see that they just open cases, and when Amazon asks for more information, they don't reply. You know you have an issue. They're just what we call spray and pray. They just spray all these
Yeah.
cases and pray that something good will happen, but they're not they're not following up. So you got to make sure you have that on lockdown. And document requests. If Amazon asks for document requests, we actually reach out to the client and tell them this is what Amazon needs. And usually when they ask for that information, it's for higher value cases because they want to make sure everything's intact. So the moment that, we work together with the client to get that, or the seller to get that, we help maximizing the potential. So you got to be on the lookout for that. So let me make it short again to summarize. Make sure they're on the App Store. Make sure they're actually replying to cases. They contact you when Amazon needs more information. They're in the App Store because they're compliant. These kind of combination suggests that the company that you're working with are on the top of the line, the top quality, and really based on these indicators, you can maximizing what you're eligible for. I want to extend this a little bit.
Yeah,
The
sure.
re, the reason it's important to find a good company like that is because the sellers, what they need to do is to maximize the reimbursements, and there's two reasons for that, main reasons. Because if you don't, you're going to lose twice. The first thing you lose is your cost of goods, your inventory, right, the money you invested in the product. And the second thing is your profit. And why? Because when Amazon reimburses you as a seller, they reimburse you as if you sold that item on Amazon, which is very fair, very generous. So you convert a double negative into a double positive. That's why sellers need to, raise the awareness. They need to know something's up and make sure that they do everything they can to get everything back. So instead of being a double negative, it becomes a double positive, and that's how the way we see it. So we're very, very focused on that, and that's something that the sellers should also be focused on.
I think it's really insane that so many sellers aren't aware of that, that they can actually claim their money back or even gain more money than they have lost.
Yeah,
So I think it's an awesome job, not only from you, but obviously also from your competitors to bring awareness. Because I mean, we get a lot of inquiries for photography services or PPC or whatever, but reimbursement is only slowly starting to grow because people are not really aware. And what our users, listeners have to keep in mind is, as Yoni said, they're ex-Amazonians, so they can speak the language of Amazon. They can interpret their emails and what they want from you. Same with suspension. Like, don't just go try it on your own, and if you fail, give up, but then rather go to an expert. I mean, what do you have to lose? For example, with GETIDA, as Yoni said, you don't even have to pay anything if you don't win anything. There's no flat fee or something. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Just go do it.
yeah. The idea is to bring value, make it easy, make it simple, and work hard. Really, behind the scenes, there's a lot of hard work, for the clients. I want to maybe suggest maybe a reason why a lot of the sellers are not aware um, that they owe money. Is the reason is because Amazon auto reimburses sellers. Amazon is very fair. They tell you, if we find a mistake, we're going to reimburse you. So a lot of sellers see, these automatic reimbursements. So they figure, okay, there's issues, but Amazon's already taking care of it. That conception is maybe one of the big reasons of
Yeah.
sellers not knowing. But sellers need to know that if you look close in Amazon's terms of service, they tell you, listen, we're going to auto reimburse you for issues, but it's up to you, the seller, to audit us and check us. And if you find an issue, let us know. We're going to reimburse you. So they're very good with that. But the awareness stage is not really there. That connects back to the part where I said, for us and our competitors to, educate and raise the awareness for the seller so they know. Because it's very easy. It's very easy to hide things with Amazon's world. There's so many components, so many things, so many challenges. So that sometimes these kind of things can get lost between all the issues and all the challenges. And that's what we're here for, just to go into that corner, make sure that it's secured, it's sitting well, it's under cover, and help the sellers continue growing and be successful.
I think that's a good point. That makes it really difficult because the sellers already feel like they're treated fair because Amazon sometimes reimburses them, but maybe you get $100 back, but you're eligible for 1,000 maybe. So yeah,
Exactly.
just keep in mind to everyone who's watching, listening, if Jeff Bezos would put a pile of $1,000 in front of you and it's your money and he would say like, do you want me to burn it? Obviously you would say no. So yeah, just go take care of it.
See, you're
Always
starting to
audit your
use
bank.
metaphors
Yeah.
like I am. It's pretty good.
I'm copying you now.
It's pretty good. But let me help you with a little bit more actually statistics, some data.
Yeah.
In general, we see that the discrepancy rate can range, between 1 to 3%. Okay, so it actually suggests from the other end, it suggests that Amazon is doing an amazing job 97, 98, 99% of the time with your inventory, which is amazing because their scale is just phenomenal. And
Yeah.
if you ask any other company, let's see, like Nike or Adidas, if they would be happy logistically to have this level of discrepancy, they'll say, yeah, that's great. Because usually, when you transfer Nike shoes, pallets and pallets and stuff like that from one warehouse to another, there's always more than 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5% of issues along the way with damages, things that get lost, simply destroyed or disappear. So Amazon is doing a great job. So the sellers need to know, if you're only getting half of a percent, okay, but you're eligible for 1% or 2% or 3%, that's your mission to discover it. But let's give it some numbers, more numbers, right? If the discrepancy rate is between 1 to 3%, this means that if you do $1 million a year on Amazon in sales, it can be $10 to $30,000, right? So what
Yeah.
if you're only getting $5,000 a year automatically from Amazon, but you're eligible for another 25,000, you need to do something about it and check it out. So do whatever you can, audit your account, try to find all the problems that you are familiar with. Once you're done, go out there. There's services out there that help. It happens to be the GETIDA is one of them, and we'll be happy to help anybody, that comes our way.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's a really really good way to put it. Imagine if you get $50,000 back. I mean, you can employ someone for a whole year doing a great job for your company and taking some of your work. Um, I know it's always hard to talk about flaws or mistakes or things that you can't do well, but in your own words, what would you say were some areas where you could still improve with GETIDA or where you want to improve?
Oh, there's a lot. Cause
That's
we can't.
humble. I like it.
Yeah,
Normally
yeah.
it's like, oh no, we're already the best.
No, even though we're, a bunch of years already in business, in my mindset, I see the company as almost like a baby. I see it's crawling, it's walking, it's running, but I see, it can still grow to junior high, high school, college. Ma- this so it's just it's a growth experience. So we were never satisfied. I think that I got that from Amazon, selling on Amazon. There's always a sense of there's more out there. So, keep improving our accuracy levels is one thing that we want to do. One thing I want to mention is that something that we are very passionate about is listening to the challenges, the problems of the sellers. We're very passionate about it. So, and I give you a reason why. If somebody comes to us and say, "Hey, look what happened here. It's very strange, this situation." So we usually get excited. We come in, okay, what happened? Show us. And then, there's a challenge. We help the seller. It's what we call specialty cases. And then we help the seller solve it and get reimbursed. And then what we do is we identify a new problem. And what we do is we
Mm,
take that problem, now we scan it throughout the network, and we find, boom, this seller and this seller, they all have these problems. And by this ability, we're able to get
yeah,
more for the so because they say you don't know what you don't know. So for us to know as much as we can is a never-ending process. You never, it's fascinating, the types of issues that simply happen. So that gives us a lot of power, a lot of strength. In terms of the dashboard, the communication of the dashboard, we feel like there's much more that we want to create there and offer there for the sellers, and a lot of it is under development. Um, but I look at it from the high level, our mission is really to empower the sellers community. What can we do to basically create services and solutions for them to make their business more powerful, so they can continue for many years to come. Part of that passion is because we used to be sellers, and we grew from 0 to 1 million, 1 million to 2 million, 2 million to all these skills of growth, and we experienced all these challenges along the way, and we did find a lot of good services and companies out there along the way, which, by the way, today they're actually our partners. A lot of these companies that helped us as sellers along the way, we have a really good relationship today with them, so we do a lot of partnerships with them, which is something that we're proud of. So there's just more coming in the future. There's more problems that will generate, are going to be created, because if you look at the whole industry of e-commerce, it's just so new. It's so fresh. It's just the beginning of the revolution.
yeah.
So that we're very connected to that. We see what's going on, and we're just yeah. There's so much to do. There's so much more, and we're looking forward. That's something we need to be passionate about, focused about. And the moment we're not, we know there's an issue. It's not a good thing.
So you guys are always up for a challenge.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Maybe also connects a little bit to my background. I was born and raised in Israel. It's an area of the world that's constantly being challenged. And Israel is, they say that it's a source of a lot of innovation. It's kind of a national pride. So there's an element of that as well, I would say.
Now that we're speaking of different locations, now your company is in New Jersey, right, in the US. Which sellers can use your software, like on which marketplaces? Is it just the US, Canada, Mexico, Europe?
Very good question. So the answer is simple. Every Amazon platform, we can perform an audit and check and help. Not an issue. But the most active ones that we have is the North America and Europe.
All right, I figured because there's still so much potential in those markets. I always talk about Europe, it's my passion. I always try to get people to sell on Europe because
I
there's
love Europe. I like the European market. We used to sell on the European market back in the day. We started already in Europe 2013 or 14. We used to sell. Good. Germany is a good market. UK. I think it's very good for sellers on Amazon in the US to know that if you feel like there's not enough, there's the growth is stagnating, it's plateau, just go to Europe. It's the same feeling, it's the same attitude.
yeah.
Just setup might be a little tricky at the beginning, but there's companies out there that help. Reach out, uh, like Sermondo. Just go there and you find all the doors you need to open to set it up.
Yeah.
Once you set up, it's just it's a repeat thing. So by all means, go for it.
All right. I want to give you some time to brag about your company. What are three things that your clients would say about GETIDA?
Well, that's I didn't expect this. Three questions, three things to think about us. Passion is something that I would hope they would say. There's a lot of passion, slash soul and heart. Second thing will be convenient. It's very convenient. Three makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. It's fair, and also there's a wow factor. Go like, I didn't realize all this money was about to go away. And the reason for that, I gotta give a little bit rules of the game. Just so you know, anybody watching, I should have said it earlier. Amazon, for most issues, it gives 18 months window to look back. Anything beyond 18 months, you're not gonna get paid. So there's a time limit. That's why you can't
Mm-hmm.
just wait for next year or 2 years. No, there's a time limit. So if those claims expire, that's when you lose twice, like we mentioned. You lose your inventory, your product, your cost, and you also your profit. So because there's a time limit, go for it. Do it as soon as possible.
I really can't believe that there are no fees at all. So I really only get to pay you guys when I also get reimbursements. Like I don't have to pay $1 even for I don't know an initial consulting call or whatever.
No. So no, not at all. If anything, we'll give you a free audit. I mean, you'll get it anyways on the dashboard when you sign up. But
Yeah.
if you want us even to look deeper, we'll do it. We'll do it. It's free of charge. The idea is to give value and long lasting. What we find is that obviously the ones that sellers that join, they join for years. It's not like we have no intention of having somebody for a month or two, maybe charge a yearly subscription and let it go. No, the need to constantly prove ourselves is something that we want. It's one thing we can guarantee. We cannot guarantee we're going to get you $1 million, but the one thing we can guarantee for you is that we're going to try everything possible and in our ability to get you the maximum that you're eligible, because that's how we're going to win. If we
Yeah.
don't do that, there's no other way. We find it to be very successful, very honest. It just works. It works very well.
And I think it's also like people can see that you're pretty successful, obviously, with your reimbursements, because otherwise you wouldn't be around anymore if you were all the time assessing some accounts and there was no potential for reimbursement in there. So yeah, okay. How does your reporting system look like? So you do your audit and then what?
So it's a fair question. So yeah, the dashboard you got once you have the
Mm-hmm.
access to the dashboard, you're gonna see the cases
Mm-hmm.
that were open. What's the status of each case? Is it paid, not paid? Is it pending? Then you can go historically, past 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, a year, 2 years, and you can see historical data. So there's visibility with the dashboard. So it makes it pretty convenient. Most of the experience is passive for the sellers, meaning they we just project what's going on, and they can just conveniently kind of check up what's going on and see how they're getting paid more and more. The only point that we need the cooperation of the sellers is when Amazon asks for more information. Usually they might ask for a bill of lading, a proof of delivery, a packing slip. That's when we have to annoy the sellers a little bit. But most of them recognize how important it is to actually
Yeah.
cooperate because it's for them. It's not for us. We don't just want to take information and you get nothing out of it. Usually, if you give
Yeah.
us information that Amazon's requesting, there's going to be something in return. So once again, if anybody watching this, be aware that you should do it, even if for yourself. If you're doing your reimbursement yourself, stay attentive to what they're asking you. And if they're asking you to get information, don't get lazy, don't get distracted. Do it, because usually it's worth more money, and it's your money, it's your business. You're doing all these things to try to grow your sales and stuff like that, and your PPC campaigns. But if you pay a little bit of attention, there's money sitting on the side for you. Just a little bit of a push there, like you're pushing all fronts. You're pushing like a lion, all the sellers. But to clean up a little bit, it's like almost like cooking in the kitchen. We'll use another metaphor. You're so passionate, you're chopping the vegetables, you're spraying everything, you're making it good. It's a big feast, big meal. But then you see all the dishes over there, you don't wanna deal with it. It's okay. Don't do it. There's companies out there that can do it, but even if you started and you cleaned up a little bit, if there's anything left, you just can't do it anymore. We'll come and clean it up. That's what we're passionate about.
I really love those metaphors. Um, all right. The next question, it can be related to reimbursement, but I think we pretty much covered the main mistakes that Amazon sellers make there. This question is, in your opinion, what's the biggest mistake Amazon sellers make? And I will now say, apart from not being aware that they might get a lot of money back from Amazon.
I don't want to say it's a big mistake. It goes back a little bit to the awareness because they're not aware. So there's a hidden element that if they're aware of and they can avoid or not making the mistake to not know about it, it can be very beneficial to them is what we call it's a financial discrepancies. GETIDA, we audit for logistical discrepancies, things that get lost, damaged, destroyed, but also the financial audit. The financial audit is, for example, when Amazon overcharges you for picking an item from the bin, packaging it in a box and sending it out. Okay, there's a fee to that. It's called pick and pack fee, and the price or the value of this fee is established based on the weight and the dimension of the product. So if the product is bigger, wider, longer, or heavier, you pay more. So what happens is that you provided Amazon this information of the weight and dimensions. Let's say you said it's less than 8 centimeters and less than 1 kilo. You're supposed to be paying the minimum fee, the pick and pack fee. Let's say it's only $3.50 slash euro slash Great British Pound. Just try to be global with this. But in Amazon system, instead of having it, based on your dimensions, for some reason or another, it got
Mixed up, maybe.
mixed up, miscalculated, or your competition might have changed it. They list it, they take your item, your ASIN, they list it, they change all this information, and
Ah,
they
I
never,
never thought
yeah,
about
they never
that.
sell it. They never sell it, but because of that, they start to overcharge you. So
Yeah.
instead of charging you $3.50 or 3.5 euros slash British pounds, they start charging you 10 for every unit. So they're overcharging you 6.5. I don't
Money.
want to say the current currency. They're charging you. Yeah, see, so let's say you sold 1,000 units. So instead of they overcharge you 6,500. Okay, extra. That is an issue that sellers need to be aware of. That can happen in order for that. And actually, this kind of issue, unfortunately, Amazon only gives 90-day worth of reimbursements for the overcharge. It used to be 18 months, but last year, 2019, they narrowed it down to 90 days. So sellers need to check this every 90 days because you might fix the information, tell, hey, Amazon, here's the updated information, and they're gonna give you a reimbursement. But a few weeks or a few months later, it might happen again. Once again, it could be a competition. It could be when they scan in the warehouse, there was some noise in the background, or maybe it was close to another item. Whatever it is, we find that it's kind of an issue out there, and sellers are not aware of it, and that can be a very big mistake not to be aware of it. And even if you're aware of it, not doing it every 90 days, that can be a big mistake. Just
That's
just
even
take care of it.
worse if you know
Right.
about it and you don't do anything.
Yeah, and sometimes these cases can be really big cases. It can be
Yeah.
a whole. You check the whole year, 2019. You saw that they overcharge you $100,000 easy.
Yeah.
And let's say you only found it in January. The thing is, they're only going to give you the last 90 days, or let's say only like 30,000 out of the whole 100,000. So not doing it on time can be also a very expensive mistake. So everybody listening here, listening to this, they need to understand that as you grow the stakes, the cost of the mistakes are getting higher. And also Amazon just makes it more and more challenging over time. This whole game of auditing and reimbursement will just get probably harder and harder because, like I mentioned, it used to be 18 months for pick and pack. Now it's 90 days. And that's
Yeah.
harder. Now you have less time to deal with it. You have to be more and more and more. It's just more faster. That's how things are going. And once again, if it's too much for anybody to handle, do outreach. There's services out there. We're one of them. We're here to help. Really, the idea is to help in a very positive way. So going to the future, you just know you have all the right services and solutions at your disposal, so you can really focus on what really matters, which is growth, but profitably. So actually, to be fair, sometimes GETIDA can be the difference between a profit and loss.
Yeah.
If we get you back 100 or 200,000, and you were before that you were losing $50,000, boom, we it's like a whole pendulum swing. So we see that sometimes, and we're very proud of that.
All right. So after this episode, I want everyone watching or listening, go take care of the reimbursements. I mean it. All right. So the next question, I don't know. It feels a bit stupid to ask because you're actually only paid when you're successful, but what happens when I'm not happy with your work? Or maybe my account manager or something. I just don't like him. Like, what do
Yeah,
I do?
it's a very good question. So if we didn't get you anything, we're not going to charge you anything. So there's not going to be any fees. So that's okay. There's no harm done. But Beyond that, anybody at any time they feel they want to disconnect or leave, no problem. No strings attached. Not a problem. We're here to help. We're very transparent, very flexible, very open. It's not an issue at all.
So if you would be my account manager and I don't like you, I could just switch to another one or just leave.
Yeah, it's fine. You just send us an email, say, hey, just disconnect my account.
All right.
Voila.
All right.
Yeah.
Um, as you know, Amazon changes its guidelines all the time, not only deadlines, but also, I don't know, other guidelines and regulations. How do you manage to stay on top of all that? How do you stay informed? Are you still selling or?
No, so two ways, two main ways, and I kind of mentioned them here. One way is the sellers. They're just, yeah, check this out. So we're very attentive to that, to fix challenges, but also stay updated. And the second thing, the ex-Amazon employees that we have, they're just, they live this world, this life. So, so they're very, very informed. And these two methods.
All right.
Also, to be fair, a lot of events. We go to the events, and I like to, when I used to be a seller, I used to sit down and try to learn what's going on. So I like that. So when we go to the trade shows, if I can sneak into a panel or some sort of presentation of somebody, there's a lot of people out there in the industry that I like to hear. I like to hear like Kevin King, for example. I like he's just very sharp.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff. So I like to listen to that. Social media, there's a lot of if I open my Facebook, I can barely see any family friends issues there.
Yeah, same.
It's I should call it the Amazon social network or something.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
really.
just constant feed, constant information. Also LinkedIn. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how we stay updated.
All right. Then I'm finally at my favorite questions. They're about you personally. You already told us a bit about the story behind GETIDA, but why did you want to become self-employed in the first place and not, I don't know, just work for another company? You said you started out selling your old books on Amazon. Was it then that you got the drive, or were you 6 years old and already knew you gonna be a big entrepreneur, or what's the story?
It's a mix of both. My personal story, my father's a lawyer, he's self-employed. My grandfather had his own business. So I always kind of had these figures in front of me that, they were doing their own thing. So it wasn't foreign to me, and that was there. And growing up, I felt like, I just want to do things that I'm passionate about, I like to do. I feel good about it when I do it. So that led me. And I, yeah, for the most part, I never really worked um, for a company. It happened naturally, maybe because of my upbringing. But it was just I didn't really think about it too much. But I'm
It
just
just sort of
happy.
happened.
Yeah, it was just natural. It's like, I wasn't like a big question, should I be self-employed or not? I guess, when talking to my parents about it, or my father, like, yeah, do it. He's very familiar about being self-employed. So he always gave me that confidence and strength. Said, do it, try it. Don't worry. You're going to fail. I failed so many times. He said, that's part of the experience. He told me when he opened his office back in the day, first 4 years were tough. You got to build clientele. You got to build
Yeah.
business, but he survived. He did it. He had 6 kids.
You
I'm the
have
fourth out of
five
six.
siblings.
Yes, so I'm the fourth out of six. So and I knew that it's not easy in the early years to have all these kids and open up your own shop. But he did it. He did it successfully. He was able to become a successful lawyer and build a reputation. I guess in a way, thinking about it now, I'm trying to mimic that.
Yeah.
But through I guess the new innovative world of e-commerce.
Awesome. I think with 6 kids, you can basically start a company and you already have 6 employees.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can have
I'm not
six.
supporting child labor, but
No,
maybe from
no,
six.
yeah, paralegals. We're all we're all older than 18 right now. You can have 6 paralegals. You can do a lot of legal work and
Yeah.
corporate legal work or something, softer. You don't have to even go to court.
What does your typical day look like now?
Oh, so this is the Corona days. You wanna talk about Corona days? Or you wanna talk before Corona
Both,
days?
both. Okay. Maybe when
No,
there's
to be
not a
honest,
pandemic.
it's the same thing, same routine in the office. Because I'll be honest, during the Corona days, it still went to work. Because it's only 5 minutes from where I live. The major difference is that I was the only one in the office. Everybody else was working remotely, so it was very smooth. It was very pleasurable. Only now we're kind of gradually starting to have people go come back to the office, of course, with all the social distancing. A typical day of work is we have a daily, a call with the most of the team. What's going on? How's everybody feeling? What's the challenges? What's urgent? Stuff like that. Um, for me, a lot of calls, either with clients when they're having challenges, issues. We do a lot of consulting. It's mostly free once you become a client, to stay connected, upbeat to the heart of what's going on. I do have my own podcast, so I book episodes for that. So it's random. I might have a day with a lot of recordings, some days no recordings. I like it to be wild a little bit, and just random. Um, so yeah, it's a combat and a lot of emails. I'm just thinking about it lately that I don't know if you know a good service provider for filtering emails or prioritizing it or something like that. That would be great if anybody's out there listening. Let me know. Help. A lot of emails, especially in Corona, because nobody can, it just becomes more and more intense. Everything's remote, everything's emailed. There's no more like the trade shows physically, or go out to New York, meet somebody. We're only 20 minutes away from Midtown Manhattan, so we used to do a lot of meetings like that. So instead of just more and more emails, more and more electronic communication, which is great. But when the volume
Also
comes
very
in,
time consuming.
yeah, when the volume comes in, you need technology. So
Yeah.
when the volume of FBA transactions come in, you need technology. That's how the GETIDA was born. So it comes back to
Yeah.
the same issue.
I can only recommend working with templates, but always,
I have that. I have that. I have that.
always
That's good.
individualize them. Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
nothing more that I hate than some outreach email or answer where I know that I'm like number 5,000 and the person doesn't even really know my name.
yeah.
Um,
No, with templates, there's the bones, but I always put the meat on top.
yeah, yeah. Apart from that, yeah, we can talk after this interview. I have a few tools that I'm using to cope with all the emails.
See, Sermondo's working already. He's giving me the guidance. It's great.
um, okay, then maybe speaking of organizational talent, time management, what is a skill or characteristic that you wish you had but you don't have right now?
With management,
Oh, can be in general.
a skill that I had more of it. Patience. I need to work on my patience sometimes. Patience is it's a great skill. It is a skill. I mean, some are born with it, but you can definitely develop it. As the company grows and there's more volume, there's more at stake. It's harder to stay patient. And delegate. It's just not me anymore. The early beginning was just kind of me and my partner Max, but now it's a whole team, a whole system, and you have to trust that things will be done and done right, and kind of know that if they're not, you're gonna take the bullet.
Yeah.
So work on your shield. Make sure you have a good one, but be prepared to deal with it. It's just a different scope, different experience, but that's something that I do thoroughly enjoy.
I think patience is one of the most common answers I get to that question. I think it's an entrepreneurial thing because everyone wants everything to be done like yesterday.
Yeah, entrepreneurs are like a fireball, just wants to
Yeah.
to burn things. And once something comes and cools it off, it's very hard. They need to exercise patience, and sometimes it's for the better because later on more oxygen will come overall, so the fire and the flame will grow.
What is your tip? Like, I didn't plan to ask this question, but now that we're talking about it, obviously, the more an Amazon business grows, the more technology comes in, and the more you have to outsource. At some point, you can't. It's just impossible to do everything on your own. Like, what's your main tip for delegating tasks to someone else?
For Amazon sellers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, in the early days, up to I want to say the first million or two in revenue, we're able to kind of stay scrappy and not really use any outside solutions. Um, but after it was really getting hard, we had to know how much money we're making, a profit and loss, how much inventory we have, the value of the inventory, purchase orders that we put in, to streamline it. So it's you can't really grow successfully, even if you cross 2 million or 10 million or 12 million, but you don't have anything and you think everything is going well, Sometimes when you plug in the right setups, so they can analyze what's going on, you feel that either you're losing money, that can be a major issue, but because you're still growing in sales, so you think you're great, you're doing good,
Yeah.
or you see that in the elements of things, there's things that are making you lose money. It can be a certain ASIN or a certain product. You have, I don't know, 300 products, but if you trim 10 or 20 of them, you're going to make more money. Stuff like that. It becomes much more intelligent when you try to utilize technology and services that can give you visibility of what's going on, know what's going on, where you're right now, what would you like to be, and what how you're doing in that trail that you set for yourself, your goals. So that becomes really useful. So if you have any notion that things are fuzzy, you're not really 100% sure, go to Sermondo, go out, go to Google and try to find whatever you can to, and of course, recommendations, but you have to open up. We work with the top, from the smallest sellers to the top 100. They're all using technologies and services. Or if they were lucky enough to have two things: the capital, the money, but also funding the right development team, they develop their own technologies. But
Yeah.
technology is definitely a big element of e-commerce, and it's so innovative and so dynamic. It just changes by the minute,
Yeah.
by the minute. So, things that were good today might not be so good tomorrow. So even if you had a big headache and you implemented something successfully, you might have to do it again. So be prepared. Also, that's another tip.
And how do you overcome trust issues if you have to give some of your tasks to someone else and just trust them to do it the way that you want to?
Like anything in life, the beginning is a little touchy. It's a little hard, a little uncomfortable. You give it a few rounds, and you hopefully let it settle after a while. But if it's not during the way, you try to maybe you get a replacement or another person from the team.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of playing sports. Sometimes in football or soccer, you have position in the court. Sometimes it's better for somebody to be more of a goalkeeper or defense or offense. So there is an element like that for me, managing from above
Mhm.
on not like the whole role of the person, but sometimes a task or elements or things like that. And because things are so new, and we're growing in dimensions, we have to realize, oh, now we kind of need this kind of scope or level. So two options: either we expand the team, get somebody dedicated, or see if we can load more on the capacity of the team. So there's always a challenge with that, and that question, or that those two options always rise up, and we try to balance it.
So it's
And
like
it's
learning by doing.
yeah, it's there's no, I did not get a manual book, meaning if you open a McDonald's shop, it's all in a book.
Yeah.
Tuck, 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 tuck. It's just, it's almost like laboratory for us, but I'm sure for most, if not all, Amazon sellers and all Amazon like technologies and softwares and service providers. There's no franchises. There's
Yeah.
no textbook for how to get it done right. We're all so new at this. It's a game of innovation and entrepreneurship. It's an open landscape, and it's exciting, but it's also wild. So you got to play right.
I like the metaphor with being a coach and having a team and then put the players where they fit best. Um, if you could have a superpower, which one would it be?
Wow, I never thought about that. Just for
And
fun,
now it's time to think
yeah,
about it.
just for fun flying, just for fun flying. Because if I can fly up like maybe 30, 40 meters above my office, I can probably see the whole skyline of New York, and it's a beautiful, breathtaking image. And when I drive around this area, I always see kind of New York popping from here, popping from there, and I like that. So I guess for the soul and for the feel of it, flying will be a cool superpower, and it gives you perspective. It's always good to have a good perspective on life. And if I ever go visit other places in the world and there's a big line or there's something big I want to see, I just fly up. And or if there's traffic jams, flying can be a good, cool thing to have in the toolbox of superpowers.
All right, I really like that answer. Speaking of more unrealistic things, if you could walk straight into Jeff Bezos' office and ask him one thing or for one thing, a favor maybe, what would it be?
Let's put a connection to this. One thing or a favor?
You can give
Favor
me two
changes the
answers.
scope. I'll give you two answers.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I can ask just any random thing, I would ask him, tell me really what's next. Really, what's next? Is it really about the Amazon thing? Is it really about the going to Mars because he has
Yeah.
a whole mission to go to Mars? Is it something that we don't know about? It's just curious because he's such innovative spirit.
And what do you think could he do better in terms of dealing with the third party sellers on Amazon?
It's him or Amazon because I'm not sure even I'm not sure how he sits down every night and thinks about, third-party sellers. What can I do to get them? And I don't think he's in that scape. I think he ultimately, he himself, if you would ask him directly, he appreciates now more than ever. I think during this year, or even late last year, he mentioned that 60% of Amazon sales are third-party sellers, and he actually
Yeah.
mentioned they're kicking our butt, um, which is a good thing. That is Amazon. That's the growth. If there's no third-party sellers, there's really no marketplace. There's no variety. There's no price competition. There's no innovation. That's the heart and soul of Amazon. So I'm sure for him, for his perspective and his level, he appreciates it. Nevertheless, like any big organization down the lines, there's layers and layers and layers and layers.
Hmm.
It's bureaucracy. So I guess what I would say is, try to, if you can, or your team, somebody high level, that look a little bit more into the bureaucracy, see where pain points can be addressed, and make it, for Amazon's sake and the third party sales, a better or more improved relationship, more synergy, because you're only gonna win.
Yeah.
You're winning already, but see where you can, refine it. It's like a rough diamond. You polish it a little bit, it's just gonna be shinier and better. So that's from my little perspective.
All right. Speaking of super famous people, if you could hire one famous person, can be from TV, movies, singers, whatever, entrepreneurs, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's a good one. Are you gonna air all this? All this is gonna go in the episode?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good. Didn't realize it's gonna be like that's cool. You ever seen there's he just passed away, James Lipton, his show, acting studio.
I don't
No,
know
you
that.
should Google later. James Lipton at the actor
Hmm.
studio. He did everyone, Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, will everybody. He brings them there, and for a whole hour he breaks them down. So it's very similar, which I like it. It's pretty cool what you're doing. So look over there what he's doing. You'll like his technique. It's really cool. Okay, so the
I
question
can copy
was,
some of his stuff.
yeah. Why not? It's all good. He passed away, so
Yeah. No, I can take his
no hard feelings. And hopefully
IP.
you have a legacy. Say, he's my mentor. Is I'm inspired by him, so I'm taking his lead
Yeah.
on that. Famous people or famous person that would like to be with part of GETIDA.
Yeah.
Hmm, that's a good one. I never thought about that. I don't want to say, I don't want to be too cliche, like Elon Musk. He's really like he's just a figure that that if he's there involved, it's gonna be innovative, it's gonna be top of the line. So that will be cool, but it's too easy. So you want me to give you an easy answer? You want to want me to
If
give you
you
a
would
hard?
like to hire Elon Musk, that's totally fine. I mean,
Yeah,
he's a genius, a bit crazy, a bit
crazy is okay.
insane, but I think every company needs someone like that.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
you're the
mean,
crazy one right now.
I believe that myself and my partner were the crazy ones. Definitely, you can ask our team, and they say these guys are nuts. They when things don't make sense, they just go and they just do it. And then all of a sudden, it opens up new worlds. So I'll be honest, I feel comfortable in our position where we are. But if I have to get like a big name out there, I don't know. It's a tough decision. Elon Musk will be easy. Beyond that, I'm inclined to say Warren Buffett. You know Warren Buffett?
Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
He's just an oracle. He has the ability to think long term and
See what's next.
see what's next. And inside, where's the real value? It's called intrinsic value. The real
Hmm.
value from the inside, how it's created, how it's generated, how it lasts for many many years. So, you know, he's a legendary investor. He's in a Coca-Cola, he's in Apple, he's in all these top line companies because he sees long-term value in these organizations to keep satisfying their customers and just be a almost inseparable part of the modern world.
Yeah.
So I would like, if it's possible for my little position of GETIDA just to be an inseparable part of the e-commerce world, helping sellers with needs and issues that they're experiencing. So I'll take inspiration from that. And if he's 80 plus years old, so if he has a little bit more time, extra time, if he's willing to come work with us, you know, he can take my salary.
Warren,
I
here's
just,
your invite. If you're seeing this, Warren, you can
yes.
just reach out to Yoni and he
No,
will
you don't need
gladly employ
yeah, you don't need your resume. It's already, I already know it, you know?
you. Imagine what an impressive board that would be, board of directors like Elon Musk,
Warren
Warren
Buffett.
Buffett,
Listen, if I can get
you.
that meeting with Jeff Bezos that you mentioned, you know,
Oh yeah.
if I can have that meeting after I have Warren Buffett and Elon Musk on the board, I'll tell him, you know, just so you know, I got these guys on the board. You want to join? That would be very tactical. That would be very good.
Then world domination would be next. All right.
But he might have conflict of interest, Jeff Bezos. So I'm not sure about that. He might say, you know what, just to be fair, let me separate it. So we need, when you're auditing, you need to be like Switzerland. There's no
Yeah,
motion. There's no
true.
feel. You're trying to connect and make peace between the sides.
Also, I'm not sure how he feels about Elon because they both have their space program. So, not
Yeah,
sure if
that's
there's
true.
any
That's true.
tension there. And maybe Warren is invested in just one of them, or maybe both.
Right. So I don't want to do the Galactic World War. So I don't
Yeah.
want to go with that.
All right. So, it really saddens me, but I'm already at my last question. I will now give you 1 minute, and I recently started to really stop the time. I give you 1 minute, and you can give the most important advice or the advice you think it's most important for Amazon sellers in those 60 seconds. And then I press stop, and then you're not allowed to talk anymore. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So if you're an Amazon seller, either a big one or small one, just try to stay focused on what really matters. Is I guess 3 things. It's sales, okay, cost of doing business, and profit. That's it. That's the triangle. Sales, cost of doing business, how much you're doing profit. Have this triangle always in front of your eyes. And anytime you're trying something new or an experiment, you always know if you're going up or down. That's all the indicators that you need. So stay innovative, try to, focus on growth, try a lot of things, make sure you have money. Finance is very, very important. So always make sure you have, for a rainy day, if something happens, you have money. But any actions that you do, any experiments that you do, have that triangle in front of you. It's like a compass, always know where the north is and that you're going the right direction. And I'll give you some change. I'll do it 50 seconds. That's it.
Awesome. Yeah, it was just 50 seconds. You see it here. And I want to add one more thing. If you feel like you're running out of money, then just go contact Yoni or just go straight to the GETIDA website. And yeah, maybe you have a better triangle after that.
Yeah, you're right. That's another good way to improve your cash flow. That's I appreciate that. I should use that. If you need more cash, we don't charge an interest.
All right, then we're already at the end. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer all of my questions today. This was a really fun interview. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was awesome to have you on, Yoni.
Thank you so much, Christina. Real pleasure. I hope we're gonna be able to see each other soon in the next event, maybe in Europe. I'll be excited to come.
All right, guys, that's it for today. That was my interview with Yoni. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions for him or for me, simply leave your comment below this video. I also included some helpful links in the description where you can find out more about GETIDA and Sermondo.com. And now I want to know from you guys, have you ever been successfully reimbursed before? Did you even know that something like reimbursement exists? Let us know. Leave your comment below this video, and that's all I have to say for today. So I really hope to see you guys next time.